very warm welcome to Yogananda Meditation Circle and to this very special event today that we have a talk on the topic Mental Engineering, Turning Failure into Success. Swami Suddhananda Giri graduated as an electrical engineer from IIT Madras in 1975. Immediately after that, he joined Bhabha Atomic Research Centre BARC in Mumbai. After serving in BARC for 5 years as a part of their research team experimenting in plasma physics, he felt the inner calling to dedicate his life as a monastic disciple of Sri Sri Paramahansa Yogananda, the author of the spiritual classic Autobiography of a Yogi. Yogananda Ji founded Yogoda Satsanga Society of India YSS as a spiritual and charitable society to disseminate the scientific Raja Yoga teachings, the spiritual treasure of India, for the balanced development of body, mind and soul, as well as to render humanitarian service to downtrodden and the needy. Since 1980, Swami Ji has been living in YSS ashrams at Dakshineshwar, Noida and Ranchi. He is a member of the board of directors and is currently serving as the treasurer of YSS. He has addressed diverse groups, students and faculty in eminent colleges and universities, professionals in engineering, healthcare and other industries, and those serving our nation in military and government establishments. He has travelled all over India and abroad, giving discourses on the how to live teachings of Yogananda Ji that bestows all-round success and complete fulfillment. With this, I request Swami Ji to come over the stage and inspire us with his words of wisdom.
Greetings to all of you from Paramahamsa Yogananda's ashrams in Ranchi, Dakshineshwar, Noida and Dwarhat. Perhaps some of you were here, had attended the previous session in February. Could you raise your hands, those who were here in February? Good, about 3-4 only, good. So in February, we had covered the topic, bringing out the infinite potentials from within. During that time, we had covered the syllabus for a well-balanced and successful life given by Paramahamsa Yogananda. Curriculum called How to Live Training. How to live the life so that we are successful in every field. So we had given, at that time we had covered 4 points. So we are going to focus on one of them today. Before that, I would like to read one poem given by Paramahamsa Yogananda just to set the ball rolling. Infinitude's happy child. As thy freeborn offspring, I want to train and use my own will, but only with thy guidance. O Father, may all my activities lead me closer to thy paradise of all fulfillment. I would be thy happy child of infinitude, realizing that in the divine plan, thy sons were not meant to live in a desolation of fruitless aspirations and withered hopes. Teach me to break the shameful cords of lethargy. May I blaze my way tirelessly through the wilderness of limitations into the fair new land. So that gives us the inspiration, because today our topic is turning failure into success. The way to approach this scientifically is first to understand why failure happens, why it has happened. Second, what is the right attitude to have facing that. And third, using methods by which we can achieve success. Okay? In that way, we can go step by step. First, I will tell you a little story, real life story, so that you can appreciate how one can turn failure into success. Many of you would know the story, but then, it would be good to recall on this occasion. Thomas Alva Edison, the great inventor, one who invented the light bulb. For years he was struggling in his laboratory and failure after failure. On top of that, the laboratory got fire. Everything gone. Imagine yourself in that position. One after another you made to the failure, and then even the building itself is gone. How would you feel? Surely depressed, dejected, discouraged, isn't it? But surprisingly, the Edison was standing in front of the fire, and there was a smile on his face. So his son, adult son, he wanted to console his father. He lost everything. So how to console him, what to tell him? He had been thinking like that and came close to the father to look at him. And he saw the smile on his face. Then he thought he might have become mad. How can a person, in such condition, how can a person be smiling? He should be crying. But then Edison told him, my son, see, all the failures, so many years of failure, everything has gone with the fire. Now I can start afresh. I can make a new attempt. And you will be surprised. Just in a few months, he discovered the light bulb. You see the practical example? How he overcame that failure and then became successful. So what is it we can learn from this? That means, if something happens, a reverse happens in our life, something we expect, we make all attempt, we make all efforts we make, and then the result doesn't come the way we expect. What do we do? So then, first thing is not to lose heart, remain cool, remain calm, not to be flustered, not to be worried, not to be discouraged, not to lose heart, but just find out, why did I fail? What happened here? I will tell you one more example from my own, when I was a little boy. I shared this in the school. Just before coming here, I visited that school also. That was in 1960s, in a small village in Tanjavur district, Vedaranyam. That's where I studied, little school. So there I shared with the students, in that same school I had studied. I told them when I was in class 4, I failed in mathematics. So then my grandfather asked me that, why did you fail? Mathematics is such an interesting subject, you can do very well. So then he took smart class for me. Nowadays we have smart classes. Those days my grandfather took smart class for me during the vacation. So he made mathematics so interesting, that became my favorite subject after that. So in class 8, 9, 10, etc., even before the teacher would cover in the class, I would just finish the sums on my own. It became so interesting. So class 11 I got 100 out of 100, and then pre-university I got 100 out of 100. Then I got into IIT also after that. So what happened here? Why did I fail in class 4? That is because I didn't understand the subject properly. There was not enough motivation. There was not much enthusiasm or interest. So my grandfather turned all of that. He made it very interesting, aroused a lot of interest in me. Then after that became my favorite subject. Similarly, I remember one subject here in IIT. I don't know nowadays whether you have it or not. Those years we used to have 5 years course. So reaction chemistry was one. So in the reaction chemistry was so interesting for me. I read it like a novel, just I read like that, and just immediately I could grasp everything. It was so interesting. I never thought like that, a subject will be like that. And I had a friend, my classmate, Vijay Raghavan. He got the gold medal, President's Medal in electronics. I was in electrical, heavy those days it used to be called high current and then low current. He was in the electronics. He won the President's Medal, and it would appear as if he would never, spend time in reading. He would be just casually, talking and moving along and things like that. But he won the gold medal. Why? Because whatever he did with deep concentration. He could absorb very fast. So then he didn't have to spend too much of time, just studying and mugging up and things like that. Whatever he need not have to do. And I am also very grateful to my seniors when I first joined, first year. They advised me, don't become a mug pot. So after a few days, I discovered it's a very difficult thing to do. Where there are so many things to do, all the time you are completely, you are just, you have to do this, that, and there is no time for anything else. And I thought, how on earth can I spend time for anything else? But later on, I realized slowly, I started taking interest. Last time I shared with, that's why I asked how many of you were here. So I can repeat the same thing. So I used to get up very early. From my hostel, I used to jog up to the Gajendra circle for a few days or a few months, few weeks. So once my stamina increased, I used to run further. Finally, I used to run up to the gate and then come back. And sometime in the evening in the ground, I went there to the stadium now, Vatsa Stadium. So there, I used to run 12.5 rounds, 400 meters, so 5 kilometers. I used to time myself and see. I discovered one thing in that. More than the physical problem, it is your mental stamina. That is the most important thing. If you are determined that you are going to do it, then even if you are breathing very hard and you think that you cannot do any further, but if you just be strong in your thought, you can complete. So I could do that. Some days when I was not strong in my determination, I would quit after a few rounds. But those days when I had the strong determination, then I could complete. So I could see in that. So why I am sharing all this is that to show what is important in turning failure to success. That is, first of all, common sense understanding. Then we'll go to a little deeper understanding after that. That is a spiritual or metaphysical understanding. So common understand with common sense understanding is that we have to first understand why we failed, develop the right attitude, and then take steps which will lead you to success. That's all. So if you follow that, then when some failure comes, setback comes, you start asking the right questions. In life, the problem is, many times we don't ask the right questions. We ask the questions which will not lead us anywhere. But if we ask the right questions, then we get the answers and we keep going after that. So, I will just now go to the spiritual side first, the metaphysical side. What is the current problem we are all facing nowadays? We are so much focused on the outer side, developing the outer technologies, that we forget, almost we have forgotten, what is going on inside, what is happening inside. Where is our mind? What are our feelings? How we are handling ourselves? That is, nowadays it's called wellness program. Where the wellness is, we are functioning at all levels in a very peak level, firing from all cylinders. That if you are able to do that, so then it is really good. But if you are not able to do that, the main reason is we concentrate too much on the outer, completely neglect the inner. So that's why if you see the definition given by Paramahansa Yogananda on success, then it will be very interesting for you. It will stimulate your thinking. It is what you have attained within that determines success. If you are happy within, you have attained all success. This is something you have to think deeply about it. Doesn't mean that I am just a poor person, I don't strive to, become prosperous. So I am just happy as I am now. I just remain lazy. Am I successful? No. So we have to think a little bit deeply. But then, even if we have all the things the world is looking for, you have status, you have power, you have name, you have power, everything you have, money, everything. But then inwardly, suppose you are under tension, you are nervous, and your health is not good, your relations are not good, then it is no use, isn't it? That's not real success. That is just one-sided success. That's why, in the beginning, many people just think that success means having a lot of all these external things. But Paramahansa Yogananda Ji tells us very clearly that we have to measure success by the yardstick of happiness, how happy you are. So, happiness comes by remaining in peaceful harmony with cosmic laws. Last time I shared, again I will share, is something interesting. What Paramahansa Yogananda Ji has said 100 years before. Now recently, last few decades in management, they have done a lot of research. And now, many of you would have read Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, where he tells us the first generation of management is about just getting things done. You have a to-do list, just tick, finish, then you are successful. Second generation management, you prioritize which one to be done first, which one to be done second. Third generation management, value-based management, which is valuable for you. But even a thief may consider something to be valuable, so even that is not enough. That's why they went further. You'll be very much surprised to hear this. Fourth generation management is about principle-centered management. What does it mean? The whole cosmos is governed by definite principles. So if you are in alignment with those principles, then you are successful. If you are not in alignment, you are not successful. How interesting. What our ancient rishis had discovered, those cosmic laws, now we are discovering anew in a different way. Through management research, they are discovering that there are definite cosmic laws governing the universe. So if you are in alignment with them, then you are successful. This is what Paramahansa Yogananda Ji says exactly. Peaceful harmony with the cosmic laws. How do we know whether we are in harmony or not? It's a very difficult thing, isn't it? $1 trillion question. Nowadays, $1 million, $1 billion and all gone. It's a $1 trillion question or even higher. So this is a very important question to ask. Is my life in alignment with cosmic laws or not? If not, how do we know? Our conscience will tell us. What is conscience? It is very difficult to define that. Because, as we normally say, common sense is very much uncommon. Common sense is that is intuition. That is actually your conscience. Conscience is the voice of God, which is inside, which tells you when you do something against the cosmic laws, immediately something tells you you are doing wrong. This is not correct. You may suppress that voice and try to do what you want, but you cannot escape. It will follow you no matter where you go. You can never run away from that. So it is good to understand the cosmic laws, align with the cosmic laws, then we are very peaceful and very happy and we are successful in life. So now I am comparing that to tell you how these principles are eternal, whether we believe in them or not. They are there. So just like Newton's third law, action, reaction, equal and opposite. You say, I don't believe in all that. If you say like that. So that will work whether you believe it or not. Similarly, these cosmic laws by which the whole cosmos is governed, so they are there. They are always there. Only it's better for us to get in alignment with them. So that is why now Paramahansa Yogananda Ji concludes, the way the world is defining success, that is not the correct way to define success. Because unless you are happy inside, you are not really successful. But then, it is not such a simple thing. I don't want to give a naive, definition of success. So that's why I'm now going into how to live yoga principles given by Paramahansa Yogananda Ji in YSS, that is Yogoda Satsanga Society, for achieving true balance and all-round success. So that means there are 4 dimensions we have. Physical dimension, mental dimension, social or that emotional, and then spiritual. These are the 4 dimensions. So we need to focus on all the 4 dimensions. So he has given us a curriculum. This is what I said last time I had covered in February. Science of body care for practical efficiency. How to keep the body fit and efficient. Second, mental engineering. That's what we are going to cover in detail So that is the second limb of that curriculum. Third, social arts. And fourth, applied spiritual science. I will explain a little bit each one of them. So the first one, science of body care. How do we keep the body fit? In Yogoda, we have a system of exercises called energization exercises. By practicing them, then we develop that type of good health and vibrant health. We are able to develop with that. Then asanas. Asana, if you want to develop, go deeper into that in particular aspect, you can practice that. Essence of asanas, you will get in energization exercises. But if some asanas you want to do more, then it is fine. You can do that. Then sports. So I was very happy. Yesterday evening we went for a walk in the night. We saw so many students and others, elders also, that jogging, running, doing other gym, other activities. It was very inspiring. So today morning also I went again. And then I took a few rounds and then just checked. So it was inspiring to see more and more awareness is coming. That it is very important to exercise the body. You have to do good aerobic exercise. So that the heart is also a muscle. That is to be exercised in order to keep it in good condition. If you don't, as you become older, you get all sorts of difficulties, all sorts of problems. Right from young age, if you develop the habit of regularly spending time in good exercise, exercising the body, so that will be very good. Conservation of vital energy, physical endurance, proper eating, sleeping, cleanliness, correct posture, etc. Because this is one modern problem. Wherever I go, school, college, everywhere, I see the students, even when they are very young. Even now, I was in Vedaranyam. There were about 1,000 students in that auditorium. And many of them were slumping like this. I said, sit straight. Then everybody sat straight, it was like a wave, just the whole place was vibrant with full of energy after that. So if you sit straight, you have a lot of advantages. How? Physically, the lungs don't get squeezed. So the impure blood doesn't remain in our system. It gets purified. Because the lungs are not squeezed, they function properly. Similarly, other organs. That is physically. And mentally, when you sit straight, that means you mean business. You are ready for battle. That means you want to face whatever the situation comes in life. You are ready for it. That way. When you slump like that, you are already given up. So sitting like that is mentally it's very good. And then spiritually, that is the most important thing. That is, when you sit with the spine straight, there are subtle centers of energy in the spine. They are called chakras. So from the chakras, the prana is distributed throughout the body. So when you keep the body spine straight, then the current can flow freely from below. There is no short circuiting. It doesn't get stuck anywhere. It moves freely. So because of that, you can take the energy, withdraw the energy from the body, and you don't remain stuck in the body surface, that you can go inside. And that takes you to higher levels of consciousness. Anyway, it's a big subject. So, but then you see, spiritually also that way. That's why Paramahansa Yogananda Ji put it very bluntly. He said that walking with a caved in spine or sitting with a slumped body, posture, it is a spiritual suicide. He's made it so strongly, he just said, spiritual suicide. So that means you lose all your interest and everything. Physically you suffer, mentally you lose enthusiasm, and spiritually also you can't make progress. So this is about science of body care. I just gave the summary. Now we are going to in a little more detail about this mental engineering. That is what we are going to focus on. What is that? Engineering means something very practical, where we want tangible results, not just theory. Say like, for example, you want to construct a building. So you sit on the drawing board, you design, you have the drawing, you have everything. But after that, you have to translate that and you have to actually erect the building. So then only it is complete, isn't it? It's not enough just only having in paper you have a good drawing, good map, that is not enough. You need to have the final product. Similarly, our thoughts, they are very intangible. Using the thoughts to give us definite results, that is what engineering. See, now you see how relevant it is. And all of us can appreciate very much being engineers, most of us. Some are scientists also, but mostly we are all engineers. Some are management people. But then you see the point is, if we make the thoughts work for us, how marvelous that will be. You think of that. Because mind has got enormous power. We don't know how to tap. We don't know how to bring out that hidden, that power which is within. If you learn that, it will be a lot of fun. Life will be very much interesting, very joyous, because we see the powers of the mind, how the mind can be used to turn the situation around. That means, suppose your mood is off, you want to study, and at that time, your mind doesn't cooperate. So we all face the situation, isn't it? Sometimes we want to study, and that time mood off ho gaya. So then we don't feel like studying at all. We are just, so aaj acha nahi lag raha hai, baad mein dekhenge. That we will see later on. We just want to postpone. But supposing we are able to change our mood, how wonderful that will be. Is it possible? Scientists are saying now, yes. They are saying that moods are created by our thoughts. So if you want to change the mood, you just change the thoughts. Very interesting, isn't it? That means we don't know how to be a victim. So many times we become victims. That is, we become very much overpowered. Anxiety, worry, fear, depression, anger, all these. So that we become victimized by all these emotions. But if we learn how to govern our moods, how to change our moods, how to be a master of our moods, it will be a marvelous thing. And it is possible. Paramahansa Yogananda Ji has said that very clearly that yes, because nowadays only they are doing a lot of research on this, brain circuits. And then they are saying that neuroplasticity, for example, the new area, where that there is they are not coming by heredity already programmed. They are to some extent they come programmed. But one can change the wiring. They are not hardwired. One can change. So in this context, I will tell you a poem given by Paramahansa Yogananda Ji, where he tells us how to build a bridge between failure to success. That's what we are talking about. The very first point, building bridges over river of difficulties from failure to success. Very simple thing. We can appreciate with the modern development, especially in the computer field, IT field. By the way, I visited the Heritage Center yesterday and today also. So nostalgic it was, those days, how our campus was so simple. Now it has grown so much. But even then, I was just seeing the photo. I was here at the time when the first computer center was inaugurated, 1974 or something like that. Professor Mahabala was there, and then we were so enthusiastic and interested. We used to go there and we used to punch our cards and then feed the program, and then we have to do debugging. Something will be wrong. Correct again and feed. it used to be like we have to wait in line. I mean, we have to book the time, the computer time, and things like that. Now, where we have come now. So now we can appreciate very nicely this concept of software and hardware. So from going from failure to success, we require both software and hardware. It makes a lot of sense, isn't it? Software is what? Soft skills. That means thinking correctly, changing our thoughts, and by various ways. There are so many ways of doing. We'll cover some of them through meditation, how we can do that. So for example, one of the methods is affirmation. So when we want to remove a negative thought from our mind, from our consciousness, we are easily getting anxious or worried. Then to change it, you instill in a proactive way, we instill a positive thought, powerful positive thought. So this law of displacement works. It displaces the negative thought. It goes away. So these type of things, using all these methods, that is the soft skill, software. What is the hardware? Like when you are building a bridge, you require very good support, isn't it? Pillars are required. So similar to that, here the pillars, what are the pillars? Self-discipline, self-control. So when you have strong pillars of self-discipline, then be using soft skills, you will surely succeed. Many times we don't succeed because we neglect any one of them and we don't understand what is the necessity for that. We think that self-discipline, what is the need for discipline? I can understand very easily all these things. I don't require discipline. You are making a mistake there. So, I mean, every one of us, we require rugged self-discipline. So we have to, first of all, analyze and understand why it is necessary. Because this cosmic laws by which the whole cosmos is being governed, in order to align with that, so we need to have control over ourselves. The body should be under our control. The mind should be under our control. Emotion should be under our control. Do we have control? We ask the question. So we may be very good in our subject. We may be genius. So there is nobody else, has done so much work. But then that's not enough. I will tell you a little story. Daniel Goleman, who just started the concept of emotional intelligence. Many of you would have heard of that. So that's after that, EQ has become very common now everywhere. So he tells a very nice story. There was a gold medalist from MIT, probably, in computer IT. So the companies were all vying with each other to recruit him, to hire him. So one company succeeded, paying very high salary, hired him. After a few months, they fired him. Very strange, isn't it? Such a genius, brilliant person, they hired that person. After a few months, the company fired him. Why? Because he could not work with others. Teamwork. He was not at all, he was very emotionally, he was not able to control himself. So nobody could work with him. So the company said, no point, he may be brilliant, he may be a genius, but it doesn't help the company. So they fired him. So this classic example given by Daniel Goleman tells us that how important it is to think, to know who we are. We are not just a simple outer personality which we see, or we define ourselves. I am an engineer, I am a businessman, I am a doctor. But that is only a limited way of looking at us. If we really ask the question who we are, we have got many dimensions. That is why, that this point about building that bridge over from failure to success involves many things. I have just, in a very simple way, I have said software, hardware. Software involves many things, hardware also involves many things, but the basic concept is self-control, self-discipline for hardware, and software is changing our thoughts and just using our thoughts to think in a positive way, positive thinking, cheerful, being relaxed, all that. We'll cover a little more of that little later. So then, purposeful life and scheduling. That means we should have a clear-cut purpose in our life. Overall purpose and also sub-goals, which will be subservient to the main goal. And to achieve those, we should schedule our life. Suppose we don't, we are victims of our own moods, then we can't be sure. We may succeed, we may not succeed. We always have doubts. So we are not sure about ourselves. There is no self-confidence. So all these are stemming from where? Because of stemming from not scheduling our life properly. If we do proper time management, we just, from morning to night, you just divide the time zones. Different time zone, we are going to carry out different things. Then, leading a balanced life. It is we will come back to that again, that the body, mind, everything. We have to cover all of that. But main point is, we need to focus on scheduling our our activities and having a good time management. Then self-control, as we said already. Then concentration, and that's what we are going to do after this. We have got Yogoda Satsanga lessons. So those of you who become interested in learning these methods, scientific methods of how to concentrate, etc. So then after this function, this is over, we'll tell you the process, how you can do that. Then we'll also take a class on that. The first technique, we'll give a class on that. So that by the process, through the lessons you will be receiving them, but you can now itself, you can attend and know the summary. So this is concentration, then cheerfulness. It is not easy to be cheerful. Though one can say that be cheerful. Itna tension kyun? Tension kyun le rahe ho? So like that we can give advice to others. But if you really try to be cheerful all the time, is it easy? So this is also something consciously we need to develop. So all these factors, together, that is mental engineering. That means if you apply all these principles, we'll surely be successful. So then I will touch a little bit on the third aspect, which is the heart aspect. This is not science, this is art. That is from the heart it comes. Feeling, emotions. That means how to work in harmony with others. Like I already gave you the example of that MIT graduate. So we should learn how to work with others, how to work as a team, and think of the team together as a team we develop. Then similarly, serving the family, neighbors, community, state, mankind, we serve all with the attitude of serving, value of self-sacrifice. All these, they are all part of social arts. Then last one, which is the speciality of Yogoda Satsanga Society, applied spiritual science. That means instead of academic science, it's applied science, which means this is something very practical. Spirituality should be something tangible. You should experience, not just only theory or imagination. So that is for which we have definite scientific techniques for controlling the energy, prana, and controlling the mind, and regulating the breath. So breath, mind, life energy, all the three are uniformly regulated, controlled, and in this way we achieve higher levels of concentration. So that is all, and then that concentration is used to know the infinite source, whatever name you can call, in a cosmic energy or cosmic consciousness is the highest definition, or God, or different aspects of God, different father, mother, friend, light, sound, whatever way you want, you can relate to that infinite source. Because, but we need to have a definite concept. We need to have personal relationship with that. It should not be an abstract concept. Something, abstract, where you feel very vague. That will not do. You will have to have a very definite, clear concept of that. Then you can relate to that. Why that is important? Because that infinite source is the dynamo which is creating the whole universe and running the whole universe. So when you align with that, then we can ask the question, you created me. I didn't create myself. You created me. Why did you create me? What is the purpose? So then you will slowly understand. Each one of us, we are created with something special, unique quality. Uniqueness is there for each one of us. So that uniqueness is to be brought out. So when we try to do it with our own limited capabilities, because we have been individualized by that same power, infinite power. So because then if we know that we are connected with the infinite power, then straight away, we will be succeeding in life. So in order to have a little drama, so God has sort of made us forget our connection with the infinite source. So we have got individuality, ego, that is called the ego. So we are in the egoistic state. So then we use whatever little capabilities we have borrowed from God, we use only that, then we don't succeed much. But when you connect with the infinite source, behind our power is the infinite power. Behind our whatever little efforts we make is the blessing of the divine. So in that way, then we become successful. So all these things are involved in that applied spiritual science. That means we connect with the infinite source and we just get guidance and then we use all our capability. So now we come to meditation. What is the importance of meditation in all this? Because to put it very simply, meditation takes us to a higher state of consciousness, where all these qualities, if you just read once, you feel so much inspired. Just to read, peace, tranquility, serenity, equilibrium, balance, strength, harmony, love, clarity, understanding, wisdom, joy. Isn't it? When you just read each one of them, you say, yeah, I want that. All of us feel, isn't it? We feel that all these qualities are needed. By meditation, we will be able to get all this. That's what meditation takes us to this. This doesn't come by thinking, doesn't come by imagination. It comes by actual meditation. Why? Because in meditation, we relax. We relax from the body. We relax from the restless mind. Then we reach a higher level of consciousness, where intuition works. And through intuition, we directly connect with the infinite source. Then all these qualities, they become ours. So we become more peaceful, we become joyous, we have self-confidence, we get the strength, all these things happen. So how meditation will be useful in daily life in order to have an experience? Now let us have a break. We'll have a meditation break. We'll have a guided meditation right now, so that you can appreciate also how by meditation one can experience instantly or quite fast that state of tranquility or peace. Or some, we can even experience joy, that exhilaration, even that is also possible. Or you feel deeply connected to all the whole creation. We feel the universal love and we have the wisdom, we understand why things happen. That type of, all these things will happen. But the first is actually that to have that deep sense of peace and calmness. So let us all try. So in meditation, we will just do preliminary type of meditation. Later on, those who want to know more, you can take our Yogoda Satsanga lessons, practice them, and attend the class after this. Then you will learn the higher methods of concentration and meditation. Right now, we will do some few simple methods. So 3 cardinal rules for deep meditation, good meditation. What are they? Spine straight, number 1. Number 2, body relaxed. Number 3, eyes uplifted, focused at the kutastha without strain. Without strain. Just look up and then just focus here at this point between the eyebrows. If it is difficult for you to do, don't strain. Look at an angle, long focus. If you have at an angle when you look up and then close your eyes, then your eyes will be up. Main point is eyes should be up. Eyes should not be level or below. If it goes below, you will go to sleep state. If it is level, then you will be restless. When you go to that, when you lift the eyes up, then you go to superconscious state or Turiya Avastha. So to help us, just keeping the eyes up, you will be surprised how immediately you get calmness and concentration. It's a powerful method. Just learning, but it's very difficult in the beginning. I'm giving you a warning, it's not easy. Because eyes will immediately come down. You try to keep them up, then immediately they come down. So you have to again and again practice. Then you will find they remain for a longer time without strain, in a relaxed way. Relaxed is ways, you have to relax also. If you do with a lot of tension, then you can't meditate. Because meditation means release from all tensions. That is why here, keeping the eyes also that way, you have to be relaxed. Okay, remember these 3 points. Now, in order to remove any extra tension anywhere, because unknown, we always have tension somewhere, here or there. Muscular tensions are there. We are not aware many times. So, because energy is flowing more in one area and flowing less in another area, because of this inharmonious distribution, we get tension, knots of tension. So, to release from that, Paramahansa Yogananda Ji has given a scientific method, that is, with a double breathing through the mouth, you expel the breath and relax the body. One short, one long. Please try. Just relax the whole body. Now, take a deep breath through the nostrils, tense the whole body, making a fist, starting from feet up to neck. Hold a count of 6. Now, quickly expel the breath and relax through the mouth. You see, you will be able to relax much better. Now, tense again, slowly, through the nostrils and tense. Hold, expel, relax. Let us do once more, last time, third time. Tense, inhale, expel and relax. Okay. Don't open the eyes. Keep the eyes closed throughout the practice. Keep them focused at the Kutastha center. Now, what we do is, we will breathe, we will do simple deep breathing exercise. That means to a count of, let us say, 8, we will inhale. Count of 8, we will hold. To a count of 8, we will expel. Expelling the breath is through the mouth, slowly. Inhaling is through the nostrils, normal breathing. And holding. Okay? So first, we expel the breath with the double breathing before we start. Now, start inhaling slowly. I will give a count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold the breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, expel the breath slowly through the mouth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale again now through the nostrils. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Expel the breath slowly through the mouth slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Expel the breath through the mouth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now forget the breath. Just remain at the point between the eyebrows. Keep the attention there. And then that you will feel there is a sense of well-being will be there. You will feel comfortable feeling, peaceful. Just remain in that peace without any restless thought. Just enjoy that peace. Just for a few seconds, few moments, just enjoy the peace. Now, in order to go deeper into meditation, we will practice a method of visualization. Don't open your eyes. Keep them closed and fixed at the point between the eyebrows called Kutastha center. At the Kutastha center, visualize or imagine a small point of light just forming. A light is forming at the point between the eyebrows inside. Just mentally imagine. In the beginning we'll be only imagining, later on we'll have actual experience. So visualization is one of the methods of meditation. So just imagine a ball of light, small particle of light that is expanding. It is becoming a ball of light covering your whole of head. It's covering. Expand mentally. Expand further. Your whole body is now filled with the light. In this way, we'll go on expanding. Expand further. In this hall, all of us who are sitting here, all of us are surrounded by that light. We are all swimming in that light. Expand further. Now, from this hall, whole of IIT campus is now surrounded by that light. Floating in that light. Whole campus is floating in that light. Expand further, whole of Chennai, whole of Tamil Nadu. Further expand, go on expanding. Just in your mental eye, you see the Indian map of India. So the whole of India is now immersed in that light. And this light is full of joy. Joyful light. Expand it further. From India, it's expanding. Whole of Asia is now surrounded by the light. And the whole world. Imagine the globe. Our whole world is swimming in that light. Further expand. Not only our Earth, we have other planets, Moon and other planets, Mars, Jupiter, etc. All of them, they are revolving around the Sun. So the whole solar system with Earth and all the planets, all of them are swimming in that light. Just imagine. Further expand. Our solar system is a star. There are so many stars in the space. So go on expanding. The stellar systems, the stars, they are all getting immersed in that light. Our Milky Way, our galaxy, other galaxies are also getting immersed in that. Go on expanding. Now mentally, you look to the left, where no matter how much distance you travel, there is only light and joy. Joyful light, wherever, however much distance you go, how far you go, only light. Similarly, on the right side, it goes on, front, back, above, beneath, within, without, infinite directions. All over, the light is expanding. It is covering the whole space. Now momentarily, open your eyes, look at your body. Close your eyes again. Now you think, oh, I am not this limited body. The infinite light has become this body. It is condensed light. But in reality, I am one with the infinite light. I need not be limited to this little body. My consciousness can expand and become one with the infinite light. I am one with the infinite light. Think like that. If you want, you can use from the scriptures, Aham Brahmasmi, Aham Brahmasmi. Or from the Bible, I and my Father are one. They all mean the same thing. I am one with the infinite intelligence. I am one with the infinite. Just for a few seconds, think mentally that way and feel also. Feel the tremendous joy and the light. If you are able to see the light, it's good. Otherwise, just think of that, visualize. Joyful light in infinite directions, it has surrounded us and we have merged with that light. We have become one with that light. We have freed ourselves from the body and then expanded and become one with the light. We will also practice one affirmation which will help us to go deeper. We did visualization till now. Affirmation is done. First loudly we will repeat the words, then softly, then more softly, then we will whisper, and then we will mentally repeat. This is a wonderful process. Psychologically, if you want to instill a positive thought, this is a way to do, through affirmation. Let us do that now. Kindly repeat after me. First loudly, then softly, then more softly. I am submerged in eternal light. It permeates every particle of my being. I am living in that light. The Divine Spirit fills me within and without. I am submerged in eternal light. It permeates every particle of my being. I am living in that light. The Divine Spirit fills me within and without. I am submerged in eternal light. It permeates every particle of my being. I am living in that light. The Divine Spirit fills me within and without. I am submerged in eternal light. It permeates every particle of my being. I am living in that light. The Divine Spirit fills me within and without. I am submerged in eternal light. It permeates every particle of my being. I am living in that light. The Divine Spirit fills me within and without. I am submerged in eternal light. It permeates that light. The Divine Spirit fills me. So we will close our meditation now. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So if you do meditation and become calm, and then like this you do affirmation, consciously we can change our thought patterns. Instead of any negative thought pattern we want to change, we have any thoughts of fear, failure, worry, anxiety, anger, depression, whatever. So if we just take the opposite and just put that thought strongly, then it will go into the conscious mind first, go into subconscious mind, then it will become very powerful. When it goes to subconscious mind, it becomes powerful. That's why we do like this, loudly, softly, more softly. In this way, if you just repeat the thought, it doesn't have much power. Thought, behind the thought, there should be energy, there should be power. Then only it will work. So that is the secret. How do we energize the thought? This is one method. Affirmation is one method. And meditation is the highest method. Because when we meditate, we forget the little self. We become one with the universal self. Then there is no limitation at all. We will be able to do whatever we want to do. Through meditation, then we get two things, two advantages. One, we know clearly, directly, that there is an infinite intelligence, God, whatever way we want to call. We will be able to experience that directly. What is the proof? Joy. You start feeling that tremendous joy, ever new joy, which never grows stale, which goes on increasing, ever increasing. That is something you will be very, in the beginning, you might think, is it possible? But when you do meditation, start experiencing, then no doubts. That's why here it says, ever new joy is convincing to your very atoms. Second, practical guidance. This what a few of them came for counseling yesterday and today also. I told them all this one thing. First you meditate, connect with the infinite source, then you ask the question, what shall I do? What is the right way for me to proceed? And you will find the solution, the guidance comes from inside, through intuition. But it requires talent, skill, to understand, to decipher. It takes time. But it will surely come. Because you should have the confidence. You should have that faith, that result, if you pray, your response will come. So, by meditation, first you become calm, then you do. Your prayer will be very, very, very effective in that case. Just simply praying, compared to that, when you do deep meditation, become calm and then pray, it will be very, very effective. This is what in the autobiography you will find. Swami Sri Yukteswar Ji is summarizing that, the Kriya Yoga path. Now, how to meditate, we already done now. Now, those of you who want to learn more of this meditation methods and techniques, we have Yogoda Satsanga lessons. You see the one sample is given there. That is highest achievement through self-realization. That is a sample introductory lesson. So now itself, when you go out, those of you who are interested, you will be given that also. Our volunteers are here, they will help you. And in these lessons, you will not only learn gradually advancing methods of meditation, starting with very simple, like the way we did right now, and then more and more advanced methods you will receive. Highest of them is the Kriya Yoga. So you will receive. These are also part of the Kriya Yoga system, but the Kriya Yoga proper is something which comes at the fourth stage. We have 3 techniques before that, energization exercises, Hongsa technique and Om technique. They will all be taught through the basic lessons. There are totally 18 lessons. Through these lessons, every fortnight you will get one lesson. So you don't have to go anywhere. The lesson will come to you. You read and practice. And sometimes when we meet together like this, then you can ask questions and you can understand better. So scientific meditation techniques also principles of how to lead a balanced life, how to control our emotions, thoughts, develop willpower, all of that, everything. And through Kriya Yoga, we can quicken our human evolution. That means the brain cells, they are getting refined by the practice of Kriya Yoga. That means you can absorb knowledge more rapidly and you will be able to understand much better. So now I will give you just 10 practical tips to be relaxed, because it's very important to be relaxed. I met the director yesterday. He was mentioning that it's very important for the students to appreciate, to lead a very balanced life and to be free from tension. So that's why specifically how to be free from tension. So I will give you just 10 practical points, okay? They appear very simple, but if you practice them, you will see the effect, how effective they are. Number 1, you all would have guessed already what will be the first point. That means through the practice of meditation, you become calm. So that is the first point, okay? Because that is the way to remain calm, to become calm. Every day, morning and evening, you set aside some time. You can start with just 5 minutes, 10 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes, 10 minutes in the evening, but you should be regular. Always, never miss the meditation. Then you can increase, as you learn more advanced techniques, you will spend more time. Like some of the senior ones, they may spend even 1 hour, 1.5 hours, 2 hours in the morning, 1 hour, 2 hours in the evening. Why they are spending so much time? Because they are able to find the deep state of calmness, and that helps them to function in a very much better way. Naturally, we want to function, bringing out the best from within us. So for that, to do meditation and become calm is very important. Then think one thought at a time. This seems very simple, isn't it? I'll tell you a story that to illustrate this. In the Grand Central Station in New York, which is a very busy station, just like our Churchgate station in Mumbai, there are trains are leaving so often, and think of the person who is sitting in the enquiry counter. Unka halat kya hoga? Just imagine. All the time people are bombarding, asking him, where is this train, when it is leaving. So he has to be thorough with the knowledge. And then, morning to night, he has to handle so many customers. And sometimes some customers may be very difficult customers also will be there. They will irritate you and they will do all sorts of things, So, but then this one man was sitting there. He was very cool, very calm. A psychologist was standing in the line. He was very surprised. How come this fellow is so calm handling this high pressure job and he is not at all flustered? What is the secret? I want to know. So he waited for the crowd to thin out. So then he asked him the question, Sir, how do you remain calm in spite of handling this very tough job morning to night? Aren't you feeling any tension? He said, no. And he asked, how do you handle so many customers? He said, where so many customers? I just focus on one person who is in front of me. I just ask whatever question he asks, I give the answer. If he doesn't understand, I repeat again. Then that person is gone. I just focus on the next person after that. So like that I carry. So I don't see so many people. I just focus on just that one person. You see the great secret here. Think one thought at a time means living in the present. We spend so much of time thinking about the past, what all has happened, brooding over the past, or worrying about the future, what is going to happen. So if I fail in the exam, what will happen? If I don't pass, if I don't get a good job, if I don't get a good person to marry, whatever. So we start thinking like that, so many things unnecessarily, which is not necessary at all. So we should learn how to live in the present. This comes by doing this type of, we all do multitasking. The computers do multitasking. But we are not programmed to do multitasking that way. We can do only one at a time. But even multitasking when the computer does, you think about that. How is the computer built? It is built on binary circuits, isn't it? Using binary circuit. At the basic level, what is there? Simple binary circuits. They are combined in various ways using different logics, ZAR or whatever, different way they are combined, and then the very complex computer comes. So at the basic level, it's very simple binary circuit. Given an input, output is 0 or 1. That's all. So you see, at the basic level, it's so simple. Now scientists are also discovering at the basic level, everything seems to be so simple and elegant. So similarly, here also in our life, if you learn to concentrate on one thought at a time, you will be amazed to see you will be able to perform so many things. We normally waste our time by frittering our energies, living in the past, living in the future simultaneously. It's a heavy load on our mind. We are unnecessarily putting a heavy load, burden. We don't have to carry that. So if you learn how to relax and just concentrate on one thought at a time. This is a very simple point. But you please practice and see, you will see the difference. Next one. When you are under tension, what do? We want to just tell what we want to say. We are not patient to listen what the other person says. So when you just wait for the other person to say what the person wants to say, and then you give a response, then you remain relaxed. You don't become tense. The corollary. That means when you are patient, empathetic listening when you do, you remain, relaxed. Next one, read books that require deep concentration. It's a very wonderingly people will listen nowadays. Because nowadays, even in the TV, so many channels, you just quickly check, keep on changing channels. You don't even focus, Attention span is so narrow nowadays. So if you do books which require deep concentration, not trash, read books which require deep concentration, byproduct, you remain very relaxed. Because you are focused. You are focused on that particular thing. You are trying to understand, go deep into the subject. In the byproduct, you become relaxed. You also gain knowledge, you also become relaxed, both. Then learn to eat slowly. That's why normally I just joke about that. Even fast food should be eaten slowly. Because you know how the body is functioning. That mechanism, you have to chew the food properly, mix it with saliva, part of the digestion happens in the mouth itself. If you don't do all that, you just gulp it down. Then the whole thing goes into the stomach and overload is there. Then we get all sorts of problems. Very simple thing, isn't it? So learn to eat slowly. Then you are not tense, plus you are also getting the full nutrition from the food. We do that. So 5 points are covered. 6 point, exercise regularly. We already told. And living in a beautiful campus like this, you have no excuse. That means, so spend time in doing some vigorous sports or exercise, whatever you want. That every day, never miss, do that always. It's very helpful. Then, recreate. Learn to enjoy simple things in life. That many times we don't do that. We get so concentrated on something, I have to finish my PhD, I have to finish my course, whatever, that we are just thinking so much that we don't notice some simple thing. Like I am walking, that one research scholar, he was asked, did you see the beautiful flower on the way? He said, no. I go from apartment to department and I go from department to apartment. I don't see anything else. Many times we are like that, so narrow, our focus. But we should learn to enjoy simple things in life. Then you see, you become relaxed if you do that. So that's what next point is similar. Relax, don't get bogged down in little things. Suppose the exam is going to happen 3 months later. Now itself I start, thinking about it, worrying about it. Why should I do that? Okay, next one, set aside time for seclusion when you can be alone, so that you can do course correction. It's very important to do introspection, to see where we are going. Otherwise, simply we just go here and there. We are pulled by circumstances and other people, environment. We have no control. Whereas when we sit and then think for ourselves. So everybody should have their own free space. Don't be with the people all the time. Find your own free space when you can be silent, when you can think deeply and see where your life is heading, what is happening in your life. So if you do that way, then you will be able to align, do course correction. Then the last point, keep your mind fixed all the time on the pole star of the divine presence. Because ultimately, what we want to achieve, very simple way Paramahansa Yogananda Ji has told us, the infinite intelligence or God is like a big ocean. And each of us, we are like waves in that. And God has given us individuality, so we think that I am the wave. And we become restricted to that. We become confined to that. But without that, there will be no drama. That's why God has made individualized each one. But then, we need to remember, we are connected to the ocean. We are not living alone in isolation. That's where the problem comes. When you don't connect with the infinite source, we feel isolated. Then we suffer. We don't have to suffer. We connect with the infinite source all the time. We will always be bubbling with joy. So that is why the last point, keep your mind fixed all the time on the pole star of divine presence. That is what is self-realization. Self-realization means to know who you are. That comes by making this type of practice. That means, suppose you see a good sunrise. Oh, this is God painting on the sky. And give thanks to God for that. And supposing you find somebody appreciating you, you think that God is appreciating me through that person. In that way, we can relate everything which happens with the infinite source. That is why, keep the mind fixed all the time on the pole star of God's presence. So, because it becomes sometimes when you come to institutions like this, it becomes little fashionable not to talk about God. We think that being agnostic is a good thing. But actually it is not so. If you see great scientists, Albert Einstein, what did he say? He said, I don't want to know this phenomena or that phenomena. I want to know how God thought of creation. Think of that. How God thought of creation. That means God has only created the whole thing out of thoughts. There is no material basis for creation. It's all standing on God's thoughts only. So that how do we know all this? That is why we have to do all this practice. So again, I will conclude with hardware, software. Hardware is self-discipline, where we need to schedule our life and we need to do what we want to do, when we want to do, what we ought to do, when we ought to do. That is learning to behave. So we learn to behave, we behave properly, that follow the cosmic laws. Then we spend time every day to do meditation, where we retire, go within, connect with the infinite source. If we do that, then we see our life will be quite, it will be very different, quite different. And I am very happy that this is the place where I got the first, that introduction to this Yogoda Satsanga, to Paramahansa Yogananda's path. Our central library here, that is where I took the first, my book of autobiography yogi. I took the book from central library and then I read it first time. So what is the purpose of life? Let us remember, each one of us, we are unique. We are special. Never think low of yourself. Low self-esteem is a psychological problem. That is not the real, that doesn't define ourselves. So we are really one with the infinite intelligence. So that means there is a special quality of God which nobody else has. We are unique. Each one of us, we are unique. Never forget that. That means you are loved by God as much as He loves anybody else, even the great saints. Thank you.